day of our hybrid annual CLT Symposium. I'm not going to spend too much time except to thank you all for being here. We have several events. Please do check our website. We have several online keynotes. We have a full day on Wednesday of face-to-face events here in Alfie Hall and also in the campus center. Please do go and check out the other exciting things we have planned. I'm not going to waste much time. I'm going to allow Ahmed to introduce himself and also to introduce this session of, I think, the first co-op model at AUC. And thank you very much, Ahmed, for making the time to share this with the faculty who haven't had a chance yet to get a taste of a very successful pilot. Thank you, Ahmed.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ahmed Abdelmegid. I'm an associate professor of accounting and also the co-op faculty mentor. And I'm very happy to be here today with the CLT team and with all colleagues and students. And I always say that CLT is one of the most efficient and effective offices on campus here, and always I love to collaborate with them in different occasions. And actually, this project or this program was presented actually in the CLT at the very early stages in 2020, so 2 years ago. I still remember these round tables that we had, and Hood actually was helping me with my flip charts. So it was a good start for our co-op program, starting in this hall with the CLT. So I'll guide you through the co-op model as an example of experiential learning, and we have a mix of faculty and students here, so I'm happy, of course, to take questions at the end. Okay, so we always talk about experiential learning as one of the most effective teaching and learning methods, and we all know this as both educators and as students. So there's a very big difference than giving just a very solid, dry lecture versus engaging the audience and engaging students in different activities. So there is a wide spectrum of these type of activities, and I always believe as an educator that there has to be a fun element in it, and what's more fun than actually being engaged in the activity itself and seeing how things are really done beyond just the conceptual or the theoretical background. So we always talk also about the future of work. That's a buzz term that has been floating around for some time, and many reports come out and saying that these are the jobs that will continue. These are the jobs that will disappear. I always feel sense about it because accounting seems to be one of these jobs that will disappear. I don't believe in that, hopefully. So I'm trying to find either if somebody has a job for me, let me know, please. But that future of work thing, there is a cliche statement that we're always developing our students and teaching our students for jobs that do not exist. Which is okay, it seems like a catchy phrase, is this alarming or anything? And I think I believe this is true, that jobs and opportunities out there in the marketplace is changing rapidly. But the most important question is that what are we doing about it as educators and as academic institutions? There is always this gap between academia and market, and that's natural. Academic institutions are slow by design. We like to reflect on things. Decision making is quite slow compared to market. If you want to develop a program or a course, it takes some time. We all know that, and that's just the way that academics work, and I'm an academic. So that helps, or that actually attributes or contributes to this gap between the academia and market. So what are we going to do about it? What is the future? Before talking about the future of work, we need to talk about the future of learning. How are we going to minimize or diminish this gap? And in my own opinion, that it's just basically learning by doing. It's the whole thing about experiential learning. That is one way that you can speed up or catching up with the market. If you're slow in introducing programs and courses that meet the market needs because of your structural design and processes. One way to overcome this is to let students learn by doing, and that's the experiential learning. And we all use this in our classroom depending on the course and discipline, and there is no one size fits all depending on the structure of the program and what your discipline is. So that could range from case studies, competitions, projects, field visits. But again, you have the peak of that is the cooperative education, is the co-op programs. And the co-op program has been there, especially in North America, for many, many years. Maybe it's still new in Egypt and the region. There are different efforts in that, but definitely it's new at AUC, and that's something that I think will be the future of education and learning at AUC. The colors are much better here, but this is the first cohort, actually, by the way, of the co-op. So the co-op program was launched in partnership with the Career Center, and I'll comment on this partnership as I go along. And this was launched in summer of 2021, with the first cohort of 11 students working with 6 different employers. This was part of a bigger plan, a bigger revamping plan at the School of Business regarding its undergraduate business programs. So introducing contemporary market content, innovative teaching and learning methods, having interdisciplinary courses, and the fourth pillar was the co-op, getting on-the-job training for our students. One lesson learned from this process in introducing the co-op is that it had to be a very inclusive process. And this list, actually, there's a couple of even offices I forgot of mentioning here. This took a lot of time and effort from many, many people across campus and beyond campus. And that's something that we should all learn working at AUC and in academic institutions, that if you want to do big things, you need to collaborate. It's no longer that these silos or these islands, everybody's doing whatever they're doing. If you want the big projects, you need a comprehensive list of participants in introducing that. And of course, one of the most effective partners with us, of course, was the CLT, and of course, our main partner is the AUC Career Center. So it took a lot of time to get people on board. There was some resistance here and there, but everybody worked together in the end, and now currently we're recruiting for the 3rd cohort of the co-op. So what's the difference between a co-op and an internship? That's a question that we always receive from both students and even employers. We even try to avoid the word internship in any communication of the co-op. So if I find a student in the co-op saying that I'm in an internship, I say, no, you're in a co-op. Because there is some negative stigma with internships in some cases. We all had our share of that. You go for an internship, and sometimes it's not what you expected. You don't get involved that much. You do some simple task that really does not add value. I don't want to generalize, but that happens also in some cases. So what is the main difference of a co-op and internship? Definitely is the longer duration. The co-op program is 6 months. 6 months, you're a full-time employee in the host entity. Okay? You do have a supervising faculty that guides you through the co-op journey as a student, unlike an internship. And that, of course, faculty mentor will intervene if needed, if you're facing any challenges. It's co-graded by both the faculty and the counterpart or your supervisor as a student with the host entity. And finally, these jobs that we offer to our students through the co-op program are very carefully selected and carefully designed. And they're decided upon with the faculty between the faculty mentor and the Career Center. We do have, by the way, from the School of Business, we do have a mandatory internship at least for 1 month as part of all our undergraduate programs. So this is something different than the regular internship. So why co-op? Everybody wins with the co-op. Of course, the students complement their own in-class learning with market-relevant skills and competencies. There are many things that you cannot teach in the classroom. I cannot teach a student, for example, office politics. I cannot teach them, to a great extent, conflict resolution with other team members beyond a project. There are these certain subtle things that you learn on the job. That's beside, of course, looking at the practical, technical application of the skills relevant to their major. For employers, it's an excellent recruiting ground for future talent, beyond just the regular interview. You sit for an interview for 30 minutes. We've seen this. We all went through this. You can game the interview. The employer might make a decision that ultimately they regret. So for the co-op, they're monitoring the student for 6 months, different situations, different conditions, deadlines, working under pressure. How did they work with their team members? So that's, again, beneficial for the employers. And of course, for AUC, we get continuous feedback on our curricula. Of the students of our first cohort are now in contact with faculty and chairs, reflecting on their experience. Okay? It's like sending a scout in the market and bringing them back with information. Okay? What did you see in the market? What areas would need to be improved? How is our curriculum doing? Do we need to add things? Do we need to remove things? So that's definitely an excellent feedback channel for AUC. So the course itself is called BUSC 4000. It's an experiential learning co-op. It's an elective course. Till now, it's an elective course for the School of Business students. It's 6 months. It's paid, full-time engagement with the host entity. And we have 2 cycles of 6 months. One runs from 1st of August till the end of Jan. The other runs from the 1st of Feb till the end of July. So it's a regular semester and a fall or and a summer or a winter semester. There is no concurrent registration. You're not allowed as a student to register for any courses, and that guarantees that you're fully dedicated to the co-op engagement. You're no longer a student. You're actually a working professional. And you need to have at least 1 semester once you return to AUC. So it's not an exit type of element or course. You need to come back to AUC, and that for 2 reasons. First, that now you're going to absorb other academic knowledge from the lens of the 6 months. You sit in the class, and now the professor is teaching you something that you've seen in practice. That makes a big difference. The other thing is that lateral learning. You're going to engage with other students in projects and discussions. You're going to tell them, okay, I've seen this, how this is done for example, in PwC or PNG. Okay, that's, again, will be beneficial to your colleagues and other students in class. So in terms of eligibility, students have to be declared in one of the 6 majors at the School of Business, and should be of junior standing or higher at the time of co-op. So at the time you start the co-op, you need to be of 60 credits or more, GPA of 3.2, a decent GPA, not extremely high, and that's intentional. We're not looking for just GPA. There are other elements and other factors that we consider, both us as AUC and the employers. And that mimics real recruitment once you go on the job market. The GPA is important, but it's not the all or not the sole criterion by which you're going to be hired. Activities, of course, is extremely important for character building, and that's something that we look at. It's not a must, it's preferable. You sit for an interview panel as a student from faculty, and we just assess some technical, mainly character assessment, and how you respond to the questions, self-confidence, how you present yourself, and so on. And then once the student finishes that first layer of selection, their CVs is shared with their selected employers. So each student would have 3 preferences. We'd send the CV to these employers, and then the employers would do their own selection. And the idea is that we want to make sure that the student is convinced with the employer and the employer is convinced with the student. Okay? So there's no force of any part. So, and it happens that some students would pass our own selection and they go to the employer, and for some reason they don't pass the assessment. That's fine. And vice versa, that you can get several offers as a student, and you select what's the one that is best suitable for you. Something that also is an add-on here and really important, which is we have comparative co-op scholarships, and I have to acknowledge the great support of the provost on this. So since this is still in the new phase, so will I leave the studying for one semester? I'm going to delay my graduation. So as a sweetener to this program, just to motivate you, we have also co-op scholarships. They're partial, because there's no full scholarship unless you have other full scholarship, and it's competitive. So the next deadline, and this is just for our students, the next deadline, inshallah, is on the 14th of April, and we're building the website in terms of the co-op opportunities. So as I mentioned, it's a three-tier selection, starting from applying on the career web, the selection panel from faculty, and the employer selection, whatever their assessment criteria and tools are. As I mentioned, this course is graded by the faculty and by the supervisor at the employer or the host entity. It's a pass or fail course. You need to get 65% to pass the course, and we just divided this into elements. A student logbook, because that's like keeping a diary of the duties and tasks that you perform. Student self-evaluation, so that's a reflection paper. Employer evaluation, which is 35%, and ultimately a co-op presentation at the very end of the six months. In terms of employer evaluation, this is shared with the employer, so it's divided into three sections: soft skills and interpersonal skills, technical skills, and employability. So the first and the third one is given to the employer. The one in the middle there, in green, that is something that is left for the employer. The employer would select 3 to 5 items that they would like to evaluate the students upon. So depending on the task, depending on the skills that they would like to see in the student. Employability, we give them just a hypothetical scenario. If you have an opportunity employer today, would you hire X? Okay? So that's just a simulation of how well our students do in terms of career readiness for the market. We have been promoting the co-op on campus. You might have seen different billboards and posters here and there, and since we were operating in COVID times, a lot of electronic promotion was being shared before. Hopefully back on campus, so you'll see physical promotion here. You see also this, that students is the center of this, okay? So this is, these tripods would show what the students think of the program. And we're going to start that campaign for this coming course. But the best marketing for the program itself is what the students would say about the program, their own reflection. Peer pressure is very important here, very strong at AUC here. You would believe, Omar or Minna more than you believe Dr. Ahmed. That's a fact, and we understand that. And so, whenever you have a chance as a student to talk to these people, I mean, they're the amazing students. I think they're going to provide you with great insights. So they took social media by storm and shared all their positive experience about the program. We also have a website at the School of Business, and also I think corresponding also page at the Career Center website that talks about the details of eligibility and the factors, or the elements that we're looking for as a co-op students, and includes also the employers that are then positions available for the co-op. So we have, till to date, we have 2 cohorts, a total of 30 students till to date. So again, from different backgrounds, from different majors, from different class standings, different employers. So the very diverse set of students, and we're very proud of them. Our co-op partners to date, we have 10 partners, Ministry of Planning, Cilantro, DHL, Robusta, PwC, the Egyptian Center for Economic Studies, CID, PNG, Central Bank of Egypt, and Swivel. So you can see these employers were selected deliberately, that they provide a very diverse set of employers. Some students would like to work for a startup. Others would like to work for a multinational. Others would like to work for a government entity. Okay? So we always try to provide as diverse as possible of opportunities for our students, because again, that mimics what happens in actual recruitment. We also complement the co-op with other activities in terms of networking events. We had an event in Consuleya in downtown with Hanan Abdel Majid. And basically, that was a networking event with speakers and leaders of different entrepreneurs in the tech sector, which again is a booming area. So that was very beneficial for our students. We also had a design thinking workshop with CLT, and again, I like to acknowledge all the efforts from CLT in doing that. And the nice thing about that design thinking workshop is that with CLT, but also in solving an actual business challenge with one of our co-op partners, which is Cilantro. So tying all the parts together and working together, that was very beneficial for our students. Something that is new in cohort number 2 is an initiative per the Associate Provost for Assessment and Accreditation, Dr. Zainab Amin. We're piloting a Coursera course for our students. So this course is totally free for our students. I selected this course, which is the Science of Success. So that is more of a life coaching type of course on Coursera, and they get a certificate and everything. So again, to complementing your actual experiential training with other development activities throughout this 6 months. We never leave our students. There is always constant feedback and constant follow-up with the employers. And at the middle of the 6 months, approximately the middle, we have these interim reflection meetings. We go to the employer if, of course, it's feasible to do so. And we sit with them and with the student and discuss what is going on and what's the update and any issues that we should be aware of to address. So we did that for all our employers with cohort number 1, and definitely, inshallah, we're going to repeat this also for cohort number 2. So as I mentioned, you're going to see these testimonials in videos. We're going to share videos soon, especially from cohort number 1, which just they finished their co-op journey in end of Jan. So the common thread, in all of these testimonies, that how beneficial was this experience, and that they put them on the right track. Their transformational journey for the students, not just technically, but also in their character. And it opened other doors. For example, Yusuf, who had the 6-month co-op in PwC in the deals department, is currently doing another internship, a long-term internship with P&G in the finance department. So it opened doors for you, okay? And now when Yusuf sits for an interview, it's no longer that he has activities, he has a good GPA, he has a 1-month internship, but also I worked as a full-time employee with PwC. That puts him at a very different level when he sits and talks to other future employers. And he chooses in the end. So it gives him the upper hand, if you will, in this. In terms of the employers, also very positive feedback from our employers. And talking about the skill of our students and their excitement about the program itself, and how beneficial for this program for them as a potential employer of the students. So this is from Mahmoud Badr, managing partner in Robusta. Saif, who was a former student of mine, extremely supportive of the co-op program, and many of our students actually work with him and currently working with him in cohort number 2, and given he's an alum of AUC and the School of Business, definitely that also helps a lot in these type of programs. But in general, our partners are extremely happy with the program itself. As I mentioned, in the end, there is final presentations. In the cohort number 1, we did this remotely or via Zoom. That was the peak of Omicron at that point in time, so we opted for virtual, but the general plan is that to have these presentations face to face. So just to reflect on what they did and what they think of the 6-month journey that they had throughout the co-op program. Employer evaluation, in general, very positive evaluation from the employers. the highest was communication skills and social intelligence and teamwork, which is a trait of AUC students. So, I was not surprised with these results. Now, of course, and statistically, bear in mind that this is just an assessment of the 11 students. But again, once more, very positive feedback. Some feedback that we also got on the students themselves. So, in terms of ability of the students to find creative solutions to problems, there was some recommendations of increasing her knowledge of quantitative skills. Something that I always repeat in the classroom for my students, that you can't say that I don't like math or I don't like quant. It is extremely important in any field in today's job market. But in general, talking about their commitment, the way that they transform, because remember, these supervisors saw the student when he or she came in and when they exited after the 6 months. So they've seen this journey and how that student evolved over time. Okay. One element that was extremely important also to get that comprehensive assessment of the program was an assessment conducted by the CLT. And again, I want to reiterate my appreciation for the CLT team, and especially Caroline Mitri and Ismet Taha. And I invite Ismet to present the results of the assessment. Thank you.
Okay, great. So yeah, it was our pleasure to work with Dr. Ahmed on this opportunity. It was great because this is something that lots of students said it's the first time something like that is offered in the region. So it was really nice to get an insider look at what it looks like. Dr. Ahmed approached us early on because he wanted an assessment. He wanted to see what the students were liking about the program, what they were struggling with. And we put on a plan for assessment, which was comprised of interview with the students and the Career Center liaison. Okay. The results were in line with the objectives that Dr. Ahmed was talking about, which is great. And here are some highlights of this assessment. So one of the things that lots of students said was that the co-op empowers them to select their preferred employer. So if you get a number of offers, the co-op can guide you as to which opportunity is best for you. It also helps you with the application process etiquette. So again, if you get a number of offers, you get to know how to accept an offer, how to reject an offer gracefully. And it's these little things that can help you, after you graduate, actually go for your long-term job, and these kind of soft skills that you don't learn in a classroom. It also adds to your CV. So now with the market changing very quickly, you are a fresh graduate with 6 months of experience in a real job. It's not just an internship. Okay. It also provides an opportunity for growth on personal and professional levels. So you get, again, 6 months, which is a larger and a longer time, whereas usual internships are like 1 to 3 months. 6 months allows you to get a deeper knowledge of the workplace, of how to deal with people, coworkers, managers, a very different environment than what we have here at AUC as a university. Okay. It offers real-life first-hand experience, and you get new ideas and a new attitude. Lots of people said that when they saw what the job market actually looks like, they came back to the classroom with new ideas and new attitude as to what they want to get out of their AUC program, what they want to get out of their AUC experience. They're not just getting the courses they know about and they're graduating. No, now they know they have a goal and they want to graduate with that goal in sight. A few bits of advice that came up when we were speaking to the previous students are talk to the previous cohort. So if you don't really know what is happening, what are the pros and cons, because at the end of the day, I'm a CLT staff member, Dr. Ahmed is a faculty member. Talk to the students who were in your position. It's a great opportunity, and I'm sure they're open to all of your questions. Take the application process very seriously. As Dr. Ahmed said, we're not looking for the top of the class with 4.0 GPA. We're looking for people who are going to be learners, who are going to be taking charge of this opportunity, people who are serious about actually getting this hands-on experience. Be flexible and take charge. Be flexible when talking to different employers. Be flexible in an environment if you find yourself in a situation where you didn't expect yourself to be. Lots of people found themselves working online after they expected to be working face-to-face. So being adaptable is very important to make the best out of this opportunity. And the last bit of advice is staying in contact with the course instructor and your peers. If you find yourself isolated, if you find yourself facing a challenge, or even if you just stay in contact, be sociable. Take the opportunity to network as well. So staying in contact with your employers, with the people you are meeting, collecting resources is important. And Dr. Ahmed is always there if you find yourself in a spot where you don't know how to deal. Dr. Ahmed was always there for them, for the students to work with them on the challenges and provide best advice. Yeah, and I think another point that came up in the student testimonials was this co-op is a good opportunity to take the theoretical stuff that you learn in the classroom and actually know what to do with it in the real world. And it bridges this gap between the academia and the job market. It shows you positions that you didn't know existed in the job market. And maybe your dream position that you got for these 6 months is not, at the end of the day, is not really your dream position. Maybe you don't like it after you try it. So it's a good kickstart for your career. It gives you a taste of what the real market looks like. And it really helped people with coming back to AUC with a very fresh perspective as to what they want to do with the rest of their career here. I'm going to give it back again to Dr. Ahmed. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ismet. So just to conclude with a couple of reflections on cohort number 1. So definitely emphasizing the time and effort with the supervisors. When we go and approach an employer, we had to make sure and always make sure that it's clear that that employer should budget for the time and effort of a supervisor that they will take care of the student. So we're not talking with numbers, we're talking about quality of the experience itself. Continuous communication with the students and employers. I mean, I check in with students very, very frequently just to make sure that everything is going fine. If there's an issue, and there are always issues, that's natural. We don't work in a vacuum, and timely resolution of these problems have to be done very effectively. Working with or coordination with the career center, and at this point, I just want to take the opportunity to acknowledge the staff of the career center and all their help. And currently, I mean, I used to work with Assistant Director Soha Hassan, who left AUC, but now we have Dima. If you can stand up, Dima, just to be acknowledged. Thank you very much. Dima came in a very critical stage between the two cohorts, so she's handling the old cohort and recruitment for the new cohort. So I think she did a great job in that, and I'm very happy to work with colleagues again across different offices on campus here. Student-to-student and faculty-to-student marketing, and I emphasize the first one. Students are the most effective marketing tool for the program. We do promotional class visits, so in one of your classes, you might see a student, standing up and talking about the co-op, and that has been proved to be very, very effective. And treating students as young professionals. that is something that I really strong supporter of. So as you approach graduation, now you're making that transition from being a student to a professional, and it takes effort from the student side, but also from the faculty side to start making that transition. One comment that came from the employers actually was that we need to enhance our Arabic language for business, and that's something that across AUC. Yes, I'm presenting in English, yes, but for different audiences that are non-Arabic speaking, but if you're going to work in Egypt, you need to be good in Arabic, so I mean, that is something that, that's something that we need to work on. You cannot say that, well, I'm in AUC, I don't know how to read a financial statement in Arabic or a report in Arabic. That is something that we need to work on, again, to make you more employable as a graduate of AUC. Moving forward, we're currently finalizing our co-op cohort 3 partners. So if you go to the website, you'll find that's coming soon, but the names and positions will be announced very soon on the website for the third cohort, which starts, inshallah, from 1st of August till the 31st of Jan of the following year. We're also playing around with the idea of having an international co-op position, so sending a student abroad. That has its own challenges, but we are working on that. Co-op students is a wealth of information for chairs and faculty. So if you're a faculty and you have a co-op student, ask them, what do you think I should do with this? What do you need to see in that course? Okay, they've seen that in practice, and they come with very relevant and very timely information. And finally, we're trying to track the performance of the co-op students in the classroom. So does it make a difference? When a student sits in the classroom and he or she is receiving that knowledge, are they learning things faster because they've seen it in the market, or doesn't make a difference? So we're trying to track that performance and how effective is the co-op in boosting the knowledge and accelerating absorption of knowledge of our students. Just I need to plug in this. So these are sample additional co-op partners. We're still finalizing the full list. So we have confirmed Visa, CIB, and Danone. The positions will be announced together with other continuing partners from first and second cohort. So we're expanding in terms of employers, inshallah, and we're expanding in terms of the type of jobs that we're offering. Again, back to the future of work. The future of work is now. We're getting the jobs that are very relevant to the market, to our students before even they graduate. So if you want to scan this is the code. I hope that it works. If not, you will be receiving different emails with the website and information. And this is the email if you have any inquiries about the program itself. We are currently recruiting for cohort number 3. I'm available to answer any questions, and my colleague Dima from the Career Center. Just you can correspond with us with any means. Just keep an eye on emails and correspondence and instructions. As Ismet mentioned, you need to take the application process extremely seriously. Okay, so that's something, if you really believe in this, and I think you should, and the importance of experiential learning, this is something that I recommend you to consider very, very seriously. And thank you very much for giving me the time to present this. And once again, I thank Ismet, my co-presenter here, and I'd like to take any questions.
Yeah, we have time for questions.
Yes.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for this very informative presentation. I've been following your posts all the semester, and I was curious to know more, and thank you for this detailed presentation. Alf Mabruk also on this great achievement for AUC. I have two quick quantitative questions. As I have seen the trend in the cohort, there is an increasing number of students being accepted. You had fewer in the first, more in the second. How many are you waiting for? Are you expecting in the third? This is first question. And second question, when the students apply for, let's say you had 10 employers last time, you have 13 now. To how many employers can they apply? One student, like, can they apply to all of them? Should they apply, can they apply to 3, 2, 4? So that are my two quantitative questions. Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Thank you, Dr. Marina. So for the first question, yes, the numbers are increasing. So the first cohort was 11, second cohort, not second question, second cohort was 19. We're planning to expand that. So hopefully, we're targeting and the high upper end of 20s, maybe 30. That's our target. Again, we're not focusing just on the numbers. We're focusing on the quality. We actually, in many cases, an employer will say that, well, I'm going to take like 5 slots. No, let's go for 1 only. Okay. So currently, we're just managing the demand and supply. It's still a new concept at AUC here. The idea of delaying your graduation for 1 semester, it's still catching traction at AUC. But target is around 30, inshallah, for cohort number 3. In terms of employers, yes. So the student can make up to 3 preferences. 3, yes, that's it. 3 preferences. So you would choose these preferences just to manage the the logistics of it. So 3 preferences we send to these employers, and then you might get accepted in 1, 2, or 3. If you're accepted in 3, you get offers. You can actually again select only 1 and decline, respectively decline the other 2. But you have up to 3 preferences from the list of employers and the list of positions. Also, in one employer you might have different positions also. So that is, again, back to the diversity of the offering. Thank you. Yes, the question here.
Okay, so I have a question regarding the application process. Like, does the employer prefer having seniors more than juniors, because actually seniors got exposed to a much higher content in the courses?
Okay, so it really depends on the employer. Some employers, yes, they are inclined to more senior students, and that's sometimes it's not that explicit. It's from the interview or the assessment. So they ask questions. If you are more senior, most likely you know more about whatever they're asking about. So naturally, they would go for seniors. Other employers are neutral. Juniors is not that young, and not that early on in the program itself. So it depends. What we're seeing in cohort number 2, that I think the average credits were lower, Dimas. I think it's a younger cohort number 2. So again, once we get feedback, and then we can do some analysis regarding does it make a difference. But it really depends on the employer. So there is something for everyone, and that's natural. Just the natural selection of students when it comes to these positions. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to ask if students are paid, if there's like any...
Yes, they are paid.
So there's some payment.
It's a fully, I personally don't believe in free internships. I mean, not anything, because this is actual work, so they are paid on a monthly basis. Okay. And beside the value of the pay itself, the idea is for the student to feel that his or her work actually is valued, and beyond getting their stipend or pocket money from their parents, now they're working and earning their income.
Okay, and my second question is related to the interview panels. Do you think we should reevaluate the existence of interview panels at AUC and by the employers as well, thinking that we need to consider the social justice and make sure students with different knowledge levels, different skills, different experiences are able to gain experience and exposure to these opportunities? So what I really mean is this is an elective course, and any student who wants to be part of this should have this opportunity. And what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, so it's an elective course. It's open to all students. It's open to just the School of Business students because of catalog restrictions that we as a school introduced it in our 6 catalogs. But definitely it's open to all students who are eligible with certain criteria. In the interview, we try to ask questions beyond don't ask really technical questions. We try to test the knowledge, the general knowledge of the student, his or her character, leadership, confidence. There are, in cohort number 3, inshallah, there are positions that tackle these developmental, social aspects of business. And that is, again, the trend with ESG, or environment and social and governance. And we're approaching COP, for example, COP 27. So these emerging trends will be reflected in our portfolio of position. But yes, it's a very inclusive, very diverse selection process. I invite any, again, School of Business, because of the catalog, to approach us and to apply. I hope that answered your question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim, for this wonderful presentation, and congratulations to you and to your students. I have several questions, so I hope you can give me some time to understand more about how this works within the semester when students have to work. Is it do they come? I came a bit late, so maybe I missed on that. So do they have to go all week, and how does this work with their other courses? And is this program semester-based? That's my second question, because you mentioned 6 months. My third question had to do with assessment, the lovely slide you had regarding the employer's assessment. They have a set of skills. I don't know if these set of skills are reflected in the MOOC that they have to take, and is the MOOC mandated? Because you said that the MOOC was teaching life skills as well. So, for example, do you provide students with training on work ethics and etiquette and all these sub-skills, or do you expect the employer to do that? And is there a cap to the number of students applying per 6 months? Because it's easy, like, to teach 30 students within the university, but to follow with more than 30 or even 30 students outside being scattered everywhere is a bit challenging. Thank you.
Okay, so that's now a true test of my memory. Okay, so first question was, yes, they are, it's a full-time engagement, full-time employment, so they don't take any courses in parallel. So they take a semester off, okay? If consider that semester off, yes. So they don't take any courses, and therefore they're fully dedicated to the course, the program itself. Then we have, I think, I'll go to the MOOC question. This is currently, again, we're piloting with this. Maybe we'll have this standardized in all cohorts in the future. But in general, these skills, the original plan that the skills are captured at the employers, from the employer's side. So, or the employers would help us support work etiquette and other skills that they capture. I know that, for example, Career Center would support in certain workshops, but on the ground, it's mainly the employer that infuses these skills. The MOOC that we introduced, we're just testing whether this should be standard or not. We're still seeing, based on the feedback that we're going to get. This MOOC is about success and what makes a person successful. So we're still seeing the results of that. In terms of the cap, yes, of course, once it's, till now it's manageable. Once it increases, we probably will add new faculty mentors to the program itself to get that close interaction with our students. There are a couple of questions remaining. Sorry? Sorry? The employer assessment. Yes, the employer assessment, they're given a chance to set their own criteria for assessment, or for the things that you want to assess the students upon. So we give them some that freedom that's not all dictated from our end. But the soft skills, yes, that I address that through the MOOC, and the employer actually providing support with these skills. What else was remaining? Sorry? The cap on number, it's constrained by the number of positions that we get from our co-op partners. There is not really cap. I mean, I'm sure that there is endless number of employers out there. There's endless number of partners of AUC, but we're taking it slow. We don't want to expand, significantly or exponentially. That would sacrifice a little bit of the quality itself. So till now, we're carefully managing the cap, but this could be. I mean, I'm hoping at one point that to be this cascaded to all university with all students. So that will be another set of, another level of operations that would entail other resources and other factors, of course. But till now, we're just managing the numbers, carefully to make sure that they're getting the best quality. I hope I asked all the questions. Thank you very much. Thank you. Other questions?
Hello, Dr. Ahmed. It's a wonderful initiative, really.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if, and I'm not sure if I missed this. How many credit hours is that going to be equivalent on the for the student?
3.
Sorry?
3.
2 credits.
3 credits.
3 credits. Okay, so it's equivalent to one course,
Yes.
one academic course. How do the students know what they're applying for? So is it like I'm applying for a marketing job,
Of course.
or I'm applying
Yes.
for
Yes.
such and such?
Yes.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, and that I think that's also important for the students, is that as you get these instructions for application, you will be directed to the career web. We have an account there, and once you have an approved, updated CV, you're going to apply with the CV to the different co-op positions. So it's very clear that this position, requires a marketing major, or this position requires a accounting, or this position requires any major. They're flexible. So you know exactly what position, what employer, and what position you're applying for.
One last question: is the payment standardized among the different companies? I mean,
No.
or is it an influencing factor in
No.
the choice?
We are very sensitive to that. We do not disclose the pay until the student actually gets the offer. Because we understand at this age, I would be influenced by a pay. So all of us will be influenced by a pay, so we don't want that factor to play. But the range is not that significant, and we always explain to our students, you're not going there to save money. It's about the experience. That money is just nominal, that the beauty and the feeling, and we all know this as working professionals, that this money I exerted effort and time, and this is my real money. This is not coming from my parents or my whatever other source of income. So that's the feeling, that part of contributing to the development of their characters. So the range is not that high, in my opinion. So yes, it varies, and it's disclosed at the very, very end. Yes. Thank you very much. I'm sensitive of time, or exactly on the dot. So. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and stay safe. Thank you very much. Thank you.